Hello everybody, it's Krista and welcome back to my deck spring clean out is what I was calling it. I believe we've been doing this over the course of like a few days. So I know I said in the last video that we were going to do one mega video to get through the rest of the decks, but I don't think that is super practical. So just because this, my like art and museum, whatever the heck I'm gonna call it, category is my last kind of bigger one. So I think it makes a bit more sense to do that one with another smaller one. And then the next video is all the smaller categories, so we're just gonna get through those all together. Anyways, so as I said, this one is going to be our like art historic museum decks. I don't know the right word. So we're gonna stick those all together. Anyways, the first one I have to show is very, very, very new, as in came in this morning kind of thing. My Revival Art Tarot from Taroko Studios. This is the first edition I have here. So, of course, since it's brand new, it is not going anywhere, nor could I see it going anywhere regardless. This deck is so up my alley. It's everything I was looking for in an art deck. It's just so gorgeous. I can't speak on how it reads because, again, I got it in less than an hour ago. But I do have a little first impressions and flip through that I filmed that should be up. Oh, if not this week, then definitely next week, I would say. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. But this is such a beautiful deck, so we won't linger on this one too long because there's just not that much to say. But that is the Revival Art Tarot. So now, the one I want to show that I think is kind of competing, I guess you could say, with that one. I got that, or I ordered that one a while ago. It just took a bit to get here since it comes from overseas. And again, even though I've just had it, I knew it was one I was really gonna like. Anyways, the next one I have is the Art History Tarot for Past Lives. And I do really like this deck. Again, anything that has to do with art history, I know I'm going to enjoy. But I got this one because I am interested in learning how to do past life readings. And this is a really good tool to start doing that. The only thing I will say is that we get the kind of keyword up here, and then tiny down on the bottom here is the tarot card association. And because these words are here in bold, I have a lot of trouble ignoring them. So the purpose is kind of to use this as a tool for past life readings. And, you know, sometimes this keyword is what makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. So, you know, you pay more attention to the tarot association, but my head would get really, really stuck on this keyword here. So it sometimes ends up confusing me more than feeling like I'm actually getting somewhere, I guess you could say. But when I go to do past life readings, because I got this as a tool to do that, I instantly want to use it because I feel like that's what I got it for, so I should use it for that. Where when I use some of like my animal decks or my nature decks for it, I have a lot more success, I guess you could say. So, especially now that I flipped through the Revival Art Tarot, I think that one kind of scratches the itch I had for this one in terms of just loving the images. But this is one that I'm definitely just going to put away for now. Just so I like. Also, this one, some of the images are very stretched. Like this one, you can see was stretched to fit the card, which is fine. Not the worst thing in the world. I love this painting. Anyways, I'm going to put this one away so that way when I go to do my past life readings, I'm not instantly grabbing this one. I kind of want to move beyond that because, again, I have an easier time just using cards that I'm more familiar with. So we're going to put this one away, and perhaps when I get more comfortable with those kinds of readings, bring this one back out and see if I'm still getting stuck on those keywords. Because it is a really cool deck, but I think it was just confusing me more than helping me learn, if that makes sense. So for now, this one will go away, and that is the Art History Tarot for Past Lives. So next in this section is actually kind of on the same accord of that. It is my combined mega deck of Soul Cards 1 and 2. And these cards are really just beautiful. And I do like using these in a past life sort of way. I think they really work well for that. Sometimes I do get a little tripped up not having keywords, but it's a challenge, and I think that's a good thing. So this is one actually I kind of thought I was going to put away for the time being, but I'm not sure I want to do that anymore looking through them. I think I just sometimes get a little intimidated by them. But again, that's a good thing. It's stretching me out of my comfort zone. So yeah, no, we're going to keep these out. Because I think I do want to continue to gravitate towards these for past life readings. I think adds something really interesting. And I think, again, like maybe combining it with decks I'm more familiar with will be helpful instead of trying to combine it with that other tarot deck. So this is Soul Cards 1 and 2. In a very, very large mega deck. I couldn't even figure, I could make a bag for it. It's possible, it just would be a ginormous bag. So in the meantime, it's getting stored in this just very large kind of mesh bag. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting into the camera. I am very sorry. The next one is my Carnival at the End of the World Tarot, and oh my gosh, I adore this deck. I think it's so fun. It builds its own world, which I love. The pictures are simple, yet hold a lot of meaning. Ah! Oh no! Oh my gosh. I did my morning reading yesterday with Coastal Curiosities on this deck, which paired really well. And we did not put that one away in the right place. Okay. Anyhow, I think that's actually the first time I've done that, which is impressive. I would expect something like that to happen more to me. Anyways, this one also has a big climate change theme running through it, which is also really cool. I love that each card is a different character that you can really kind of dig into. And this carnival theme is just everything. I just think it's so much fun. And I've had the best readings with it. This is one that I really clicked with right away. As soon as I took it out of its box, it just worked really well for me. And I knew exactly what the pictures were saying. Yeah, I love this one. So that is the Carnival at the End of the World Tarot. What do I want to take out next? Oh, I know. We'll do these two. Kind of a pair in a way. I have both the Oracle and Tarot of Mystical Moments. And these are both definitely staying. I really enjoy these. I think I had the Oracle first and got the Tarot because I love this Oracle so much. I will say that I do tend to use the Oracle more so than the Tarot. Oh, I love this one. It's just so unique. The art style is just so interesting. Anyway, so the Oracle is a definite stay. I use that one all the time. Let's take a look at the Tarot. It's a bit odd because they didn't continue the same cardstock over to the Tarot, which doesn't make too much sense to me, but I'm not really upset about it. I think it's glossy. You can see there, it's glossy. But I do think it brings out the images really nicely. Yeah, I've not gotten too much of a chance to use this one yet. But I do really like it. The images make a lot of sense to the tarot meanings. And again, this art style is just so good. I need to pull this one out. I really do like this deck. I want to dig into this one a lot more than I have. Oh, so nice. And that's another reason why I like to do a deck clean out every once in a while, is just to, even if it's just like I've been doing, not necessarily getting fully rid of all of the decks. Some of them just go away, but it makes my cabinet a lot less cluttered, and I'm keeping things in there that either I know I love or I am needing to put in the work to get to know. And so it makes that a lot less cluttered feeling and makes it easier for me to single out the decks, I guess you could say, that I've been meaning to work with, and maybe I honestly just forget a lot of the time. So that's another reason I like to do that. But that is both the Tarot and Oracle of Mystical Moments, and they're just so pretty. I really do love both of them. So I think the next we will pull out is, I think we'll take out my, I don't know how you say it, UC Design Studios. But I have the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot and the Supra Oracle from them. So we will do Pagan Otherworlds first. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is kind of the last category that I don't mind. Like, I like having a lot of variety in. This is animals, nature, and anything art history looking or like directly themed is my jam. And this is just, oh, it's such a beautiful deck. It's such a clear reader for me. I love how it's kind of descriptive pips in a way, where it is a pip card, but you do get a little bit of scenery that totally makes sense to the card. I like using this deck for just what feels like a real kind of unbiased opinion. I don't know how else to say it other than this deck just feels really clean. I think it's the muted colors just makes it feel so unbiased. Like it's just telling me exactly how it is, kind of thing. So this is a definite stay. I love this one. That is the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot. Now, the Supra Oracle, I have to admit, I've not pulled out a whole bunch. I got this one secondhand off of one of the Facebook groups, along with the book as well. You definitely need the book with this oracle, just because the keywords aren't, you know, necessarily descriptive, I guess you could say. But I really love this. Look at that moon card. I love how it's monochromatic, so I just feel like it could go with a lot of decks. I saw on Danny Mystic's channel that she pairs this with the Revival Art Tarot, and I'm really excited to do that. So I've not used this one too much yet, but not for any particular reason, honestly, I don't think. Because I do really like it, and the few times I have used it, you know, I do need to read from the guidebook, but that's all right. And it's another one that just feels really unbiased and clean. I just really like this one. So kind of just like the Tarot of Mystical Moments, it's just one that I feel like sometimes goes to the wayside for no particular reason. I just need to get to know it better. So that is the Super Oracle, and that one is staying. I'm pretty sure the rest in this category are staying. Which again, you know, I'm not looking to like get rid of a whole bunch necessarily. Just going through and looking at all my decks and realizing the ones that I don't use, and there's a reason for it. So this next one is my favorite deck to travel with. It is the Montero, and it is a really mini pocket size, which I love. And it is a pip deck. But I just love the Regency style art. I just think it's so fun and pretty. And is another really clear reader for me. And I like to travel with it because it also comes with these little guidebook cards. I like when pocket-sized decks do this instead of having a guidebook necessarily. And I made this cute little bag for it so that I could take it everywhere with me, and I really do take this one a lot of places with me. So that is the Montero, and oh, it's just my favorite to bring around. The Oracle I have that just pairs so perfectly. I need to do a video response to Lisa Papez's Perfect Pairs videos because I think about that all the time. Like, what are my perfect pairs? But this is one of them. This is Danny Mystic's Pear Tree Court Oracle. And even though it's portraying a different era, it really works so well with the Montero. Just the look and feel of it is very similar to me. And it's just got amazing keywords. It feels really balanced, which I love. I like that I don't necessarily feel like I need to take out the guidebook, because again, the Montero is very much one that I like to bring on the go with me. So if I'm bringing an oracle as well, I want it to be kind of quick to understand, if that makes any sense, because I feel like when whether I'm traveling or just not at home, and if I'm doing a reading, typically I don't have that much time to really sit and think about it. So I don't want to have to sit and like extensively read anything or ponder over it, and this is just, it's straightforward, it's a clear reader, just like the Montero. So they go together in so many different ways for me. That is the Pear Tree Court Oracle. Now we've got, I think just two more in this category. Let's see. Yeah. Is that right? I guess so. I don't think I'm missing any. I have to think about it. Oh, yes, I am. There's one across the room. Hold on. Okay. I almost forgot about my Renaissance Tarot. Now, This is one I got very early on. Again, because I've got an interest in art history and just anything historic in general, but this sat in my kind of work purgatory cabinet, seeing if Rachel would just eventually take it for a long time, and I finally just brought it home. And I like the images, but I know I'm not going to reach for this one over something else. I know it. Especially at this point, since I've got the Revival Art Tarot, even though, again, it's different time periods, I'm not going to reach for this one. It's just, I know it's not going to happen, so I need to, not that I need to, but I know it's time to let this one go. It's been sitting with me for, what, maybe three years now or so, and hardly gets used, and that makes me a little sad. So we're going to move this one definitely along to someone who will use it a lot more than I do, and that is the Renaissance Tarot. Put out by US Games, I think? Yeah, US Games. Okay, so now we are up to the Shimmering Veil Tarot, which is just such a different one. It's so beautiful. The images are painted in the same way as the soul cards. It's a process called touch painting, and it creates these really intuitive images that I love. This deck is a really intuitive reader. Also very good for things like past life readings. I've had a lot of success with this one. I just love looking at the pictures. Aside from the fact that it is, you know, the same painting style as the soul cards, it's within the tarot structure, so I do like being given some structure with it, so it feels very, very unique in my little collection. I'm very sorry if you're hearing any random noises. I have the windows open because it's such a nice day. We were on a quiet street, but it seems like everyone is choosing to drive by today. How inconsiderate, right? Anyways, this is totally staying. I love this one. It's the Shimmering Veil Tarot. Look at the edges, too. Oh, so pretty. Okay. So now we've got one more. And it is the... Ugh. Trying to get that back in the box so we don't make a total mess. Anecdotes Tarot. Put out by, their name on Instagram is Clownmonger. Now, I've had this one what feels like forever, too. The cards are huge, like, bigger than my hand. How pretty. And I don't use it, like, honestly at all, but I don't really know why. I mean, the cards are a bit cumbersome, the size. Oh, but how pretty. I really love this deck. It's one that I've considered letting go so many times just because I don't really reach for it, but I just can't. It's just some of my favorite artwork. I think she's so talented, and she's coming out with a Lenormand deck in this style soon. So definitely check that out. I think what I want to do is actually leave this one out like on my coffee table or something so that I reach for it when I'm kind of wanting to just randomly play with my cards. If it's out, then I will, you know, I will reach for it. I think that's what we're going to do. Because I really don't know why, other than the size of the cards. I don't know. I've had really good readings with it when I have used it. That's what we're going to do. I don't think this is one I could really ever let go. Plus, I know she's almost out of stock of this deck, and I'm not sure that she would do another printing, so we're definitely going to hold on to it. That is the Anecdotes Tarot. Was that the... Okay, that was the last one in this category, so... Alright, we've got one definitely going, one in my little purgatory bin. And I love the rest of these. Oh, I just love these decks. This category is one of my favorites. It's a good kind of, not juxtaposition necessarily, but they feel so different from my nature and animal decks, which kind of can sometimes, those two categories kind of blend into each other, which is fine. I really love them, but I like having this kind of different feel a lot of the time. So the other category I think we're going to do today is my shadow decks, because it's a smaller category. Yeah, we're going to do that. We'll do all the rest next time. So my first shadow work deck is my Reclaim Oracle. And I love this one. I actually really like that it's monochromatic. This is a heavy hitter. Like, these keywords are no joke. We've got revenge, respect, rage. Like, these are no joke. So if I'm doing some kind of serious shadow work, this is the one I bring out, because it's not going to let me hide behind anything or not recognize anything. So I would say, you know, if you're interested in this deck, just be wary of that. It's gonna hit you hard. But I think that's good. I really enjoy it. It also, you know, it feels healing at the same way, though. It finds a way to be like a hard hitter, but comforting at the same time, because not everything is a tough emotion. We've got love there. Then we've got hate. Oh. And the way that the feelings are drawn is just so spot on. So this one's definitely staying. Again, if I'm gonna do shadow work, this one's usually coming out. So the next one that I've put in this category is my Insomnia Tarot. I love this one. The images, or the photographs, it's a photography deck, and the images were taken on beaches right near where I grew up on Long Island, so that was also a really cool layer to add to it. But these images tend to be a little bit darker. I just personally feel like the artist was pulling on sort of the shadowy sides of these card meanings. And something about having all of the faces covered or obscured makes it feel shadowy to me. I just find that this is another heavy hitter kind of deck. Like, this is like, oh, look at that Three of Wands. Doesn't that give us such a different feeling than some other Three of Wands cards? It seems a lot darker and scarier in a way, kind of like this crusade image. Oh, I love it. It's so good for shadow work. This one is not gonna let you hide from your shit. So this is for sure a keep. Again, if I'm doing shadow work, this is the one that's coming out. And it actually works pretty well in combination with the Reclaim Oracle. I like using those two together. So this is the Insomnia Tarot, and I could not recommend that one enough. It's really good. Alrighty. Our next one, we've got two more, is the Deviant Moon Tarot. And I love this one, but. I got this one because I had such a visceral reaction to the images on these cards. Like, oh my gosh, it just pulled such feelings of like, ooh, out of me. Like, startling. And so that was really useful as a shadow work deck. But, here's the but. As I've used it and gotten used to the images, it's become less shocking and more endearing to me. I don't know how else to say that. It's just like, now I'm kind of like find the images kind of charming in a way. Like, they don't shock me anymore. Especially compared to the Somnia Tarot, which has upheld that feeling just because of how the artwork is. But I do love this tarot deck. I find that I've not been using it though because I've kind of pigeonholed it. So what I want to do is just remove it from the shadow work category. Not saying that I won't like ever. How am I trying to say that sentence? Why is that not coming out correct? There's a chance. Okay, so I will probably still use it sometimes for shadow work, just because it doesn't feel as heavy. But I do think I would get more use out of it if I just didn't feel like I could only use it for that. So we're going to take it out of that little category in my brain and make it kind of a generally used deck, because I feel like in the fall and winter, this would just be really fun. I love that. I just love this deck. All right, so that is the Deviant Moon Tarot. Now, my last one that I have here is my Lila Fertero. And I put it in this category solely because my brain so heavily associates it with the Reclaim Oracle, because it's the same creator and these same kinds of figures. Now, this deck is really, really interesting. Each of the cards has so many symbols, down to like the animals and the shapes. And there's astrology in it, and it's very involved. But I don't reach for this one. I almost feel like all of that being included in like one card is a bit too much for me right now. I'm also not sure if I enjoy the figures as much in color versus the black and pink, which is surprising because I really thought I would. But I do think this deck is really interesting. So this one, we're not going to get rid of this one. We are going to put this in my bin to come back to later. Maybe when I feel more ready to deep dive this one in the way that I kind of feel like I would need to with it. And at this point, I'm just not feeling pulled to do that, so I'm not going to force myself to. But I do think there's a strong chance I'm going to want to in the future, so I think I would regret getting rid of it. So we're going to put it in the bin so it's just not, you know, feeling like it is staring me down, almost saying like, please use me. Does that make sense? I don't know. But that's what we're going to do, because I do think it's really cool and interesting. That is the Lila Fertero, and yeah, okay, this one is going to go in the bin, I believe. So anyway, next time we are going to go through all the rest of the little categories I have and finish this series off, but I really hope you've been enjoying it. As I keep saying, it's been really helpful for me to talk this through and just also fun. So anyhow, I will see you all again next time.